Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over everything that sold last week for me on eBay and Poshmark. Now, if you're new to this channel, we sell on two different platforms, eBay and Poshmark, and we use List Perfectly to cross-post. Cross-posting is essentially taking data from one platform and moving it on over to the other. We do this to increase the exposure of our items, the amount of viewers that we're getting, and increase the likelihood of a sale. So far, it's working really good. If you'd like to try List Perfectly and cross-post for yourself, link is down below, as well as a coupon code for a discount off of your first month. We're going to dive right into the sales. I have a lot to show you, so let's take a look. Alright, so everything that you see here on the screen happened between April 17th through the 23rd. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. That is how I calculate my weeks. That is also how most of the platforms that I sell on calculate their weeks, Sunday through Saturday. So within that time frame, I sold a total of 122 items between two platforms, which were eBay and Poshmark. My gross sales were $3,986.83. Now, if you remember my past couple of what sold videos, I went over 4,000, which was record breaking for my business. I had never gone over 4,000 before. I said in those videos I was really hoping for that to be a trend and to keep it above 4,000. As you can see, I was just short and did not make my goal, but still really happy with that number, and hopefully the following week we'll be back up over 4,000. Average sale price was $32.68. This tells me that I sold more items but at a lower average sale price because we're usually closer to $40. Estimated cost of goods based on the average buy cost was $488. My estimated net, which is the gross sales less the cost of goods less fees and shipping costs, was $2,432.92. On eBay, I sold 92 items, and on Poshmark, I sold 30. We did have a big dip in the amount of Poshmark items that were being sold, specifically because we stopped cross-posting new items over there for about a week, and it was during this week that sales really took a dip. At the time that I'm filming this video, our sales have gone way up from this week because we started cross-posting again. So like I tell people, whenever sales dip, there's usually a direct correlation. And in this case, it was because we stopped cross-posting for a little bit. So no new items were going into Poshmark, therefore quite a slower sales over there. So 30 items, not $30, 30 items on Poshmark, which is still really good. I mean, the items that we already had listed over there we're still selling, so I'm still happy with that. We still grossed $971 on Poshmark, and then the 92 items on eBay, we grossed just over $3,000. So where Poshmark kind of lacked, eBay picked it up, and that is the benefit, in my opinion, of cross-posting and diversifying which platforms you sell on. So let's dive into some of these eBay sales. This was probably my best sale. This is Lilly Pulitzer. It is a great dress brand to look for. We happen to find two of these new with tags, which is honestly insane. We only paid $4.39 for each of these dresses. I believe we only sold one of them so far. As you can see, they retailed for $238. Crazy insane. Cannot believe some of the stuff you can find at a thrift store. It's still insane to me. So paid a little over $4 for that. This was called the Serene Blue, which was the color. The style was called the Fia dress, which you can see I listed here in the title, and we were able to find all of that information here on the tag and by looking up the style numbers. This one in particular, we listed for close to $100, $94.93. It sold on an offer to watchers for $85.44. I don't think that other one is sold, but I believe we listed it at about the same price. Crazy return on investment. This next one is a pair of shoes I picked up a while ago. I picked these up for $14.99, so roughly $15, and I turned that into $75. You can see I accepted a best offer. I believe I had these listed at maybe $85 and received an offer of $75. 15 into 75, in my opinion, is a pretty good return on investment. These I priced really high and was willing to pick up because I looked up the style number on the inside, and they ended up being a pretty desirable style. They were called the Harden Volume 2. One thing you got to remember with sneakers is it's not just about the style, it's also about the colorway, and this particular combination was really valuable. So I picked those up for $15. This is one of my favorite men's brands to sell. It is Prana. And this was another item that we were lucky to find new with tags. Sorry, here's the tag, Prana. And particularly the men's pieces do really well. Now this particular one was called the Zion Pant, and that one is really, really special. If you find the Zion pants, definitely want to put that in your title and price higher. I believe the reason it's worth so much more is because it is UV and water resistant. I paid only $4.39 for this pair, and it sold on an offer for $68.83. During this time of the year, and honestly pretty much all times of the year, I'm constantly looking for men's and women's hiking pants. They bring really good money, and they're definitely a category that I rely on during this time of the year. This was an item I took a chance on. This is the brand Bowden. You guys know I like selling women's dresses in this brand, but rarely do I come across men's items. I picked this one up and took a chance on it because it was new with tags and it was a more modern kind of blazer. So Bowden men's plaid blazer. It was also size 40, which is a great size. New with tags. You can see it retailed for quite a bit. If I can get it to load here. Here we go. Just kidding. Retail's not on that, but I did look up the retail price on this, and I think it was a few $100s. Bowden, as well as other brands, typically do not have a good sell-through rate in items like this, but again, I decided to take a chance because it was new with tags and it seemed like a modern style. I'm glad that I did. I paid $4.69 for it. It sold for my full asking price of $59.92. The reason I think it sold so quickly is because I knew it didn't have a good sell-through rate, so I specifically priced a little lower than market, which is something we talk about when we talk about pricing strategies. If it's not a good sell-through rate, price a little lower than your competitors and you're probably going to see that item move. So $4.69 into $59.92, I was really happy with that. This is an awesome Ralph Lauren item. I think people don't take me seriously when I say that Ralph Lauren and all of its brands within it can be very valuable if you've got a particular set of factors. In this case, this is an equestrian style jacket, and for that reason I knew this was going to be a really good flip. I paid only $4.69 for it. I can just tell it's like an equestrian style based on the way the jacket is cut and the little details here out and the pockets. In case you're wondering what equestrian is, I would look that word up because it can be a really good keyword when you've got styles like this. Also size 12, helped to sell it. Again, I paid $4.69. I listed for $49.94. It sold extremely quickly within a few weeks for an offer to watchers of $44.95. Again, I just love picking up this brand. If you're not familiar with it, I did make a Ralph Lauren video and about kind of the things that I look for within these brands, but we come across them so often and we definitely find a lot of bolos because of it. So don't pass on it if you find something special. Next is a pair of Levi's women's wedgie jeans. This is another one that used to have a really good sell-through rate and no longer does, but I took a chance on it. I paid a little up for it and I priced a little lower than market and it sold very quickly. This one sold, I think, within the same week we listed it. So you're going to want to look for this tag that says wedgie. This was a size 26. If you get a larger size, I think it'll probably do better for you, but I decided to pick this up even with the small size because it was in really good condition. This used to perform a lot better for me as far as sell-through rate goes. So again, when I looked up comps, I was a little disappointed. Picked it up anyways, price lower, it sold quickly. I paid $6.99 for it. It sold on an offer to watchers for $35.95. These are a pair of Fly Londons. I have a really hard time leaving this brand behind at the thrift store. I pick up almost everything in this brand. Here is the insole here. They're pretty easy to spot. They have a very particular look to them. They have this like wedge heel with the unique tread at the bottom, and then if you flip them over and look at the bottom, they say Fly London on the bottom. Anytime I see this in good condition, I'm definitely picking it up. I paid only $4.39 for these, and it sold on an offer to watchers for $40.43. This is another Lululemon item. We are constantly selling Lululemon. I wanted to show you this particular one because when I find Lululemon, it's typically at the bins. I find little pieces at the bins. Usually other people scoop up the leggings, but people don't dig to the bottom of the bin and find the lightweight items, which for me, almost every time we go to the bins, we end up finding little items like this in Lululemon. So keep your eye out for it. These are a pair of white running shorts. They were called the Speed Up running shorts, and again, we picked these up at the bins. My bins is $1.79 per pound. These did not cost a pound, so I paid somewhere between $1 and $2 for these, and they sold for full asking price of $39.94, which is, you know, really good for a small article of clothing. So just showing you this because if you're at the bins, make sure to go through the little stuff because I think you'd be surprised at how much you might come across. This was an item I definitely paid up for, especially moving into the warmer weather. I probably honestly shouldn't have picked this up, but my gut told me to go with it. This is a Vineyard Vines men's performance puffer vest, and as you can see on the tag on the inside, it did say performance on it, so I was able to quickly look up what this was. Saw it had a really good sell-through rate. I paid $9.99 for this, which again is a little crazy moving into warmer weather when this is a puffer vest. However, the sell-through rate was so good, I figured $10 into $40, I could flip it really quickly if I got it listed quickly. And I'm glad I did. So it went for $39.92, which was my full asking price. So about 10 into 40, not typically the margins that I like to work with, but again, that sell-through rate was so good that I took a chance on it. Here's another Adidas piece. Now, I know this is the second Adidas item that I've shown you, but I definitely do not pick up this brand often. It has to be something really unique. This one had the trefoil logo, which you can see right here, this little 3 leaf. And the trefoil logo does really good, and you can see it's embroidered on the front. I picked this up because it is a sweatshirt, so a more substantial piece, and I thought it was just really unique with the animal print and the different color blocking. Got this at the bins. It did sell for my full asking price of $29.91. Someone's dropping stuff out in the hallway, so if you guys hear that, I do apologize. Hopefully that stops. Next up is a pair of Nike men's shoes. These are called the Nike Renew. I was able to find that style name by looking up this number right here on Google, the CD0311-005. Looked that up on Google along with the word Nike, found out that these were called the Renew Ride. And again, it has to do not just with the style, but also the color that they are. And I found that the all over black ones did pretty good. So I picked these up for $4.99. They sold for my full asking price of $32.37. Next up is another bins find. I've been picking up a lot of maxi dresses, regardless of brand lately, if I think it has a good style. Chaps is one of those brands that I definitely don't pick up often. This is a subline of Ralph Lauren, and this one, in my opinion, I hardly ever pick up. It does not typically perform well. However, this was a women's size large, really beautiful floral maxi dress, and because of all of those factors stacked, the brand did not matter to me. Plus, we were getting at the bin, so it only cost a couple bucks. So this sold for my full asking price of $24.94, and it sold within a couple weeks of listing. I was really surprised about that, so I'm going to keep my eye out for longer maxi length dresses like this. Next up is Gap, also not a brand I recommend you pick up often, but I will pick up almost any bib overall. Almost any. Don't hold me to that, but almost any. This was a size extra small. I picked this up for $4.39. Vintage Gap stuff, vintage Old Navy bib overalls, they all do well. This did look like a more vintage style to me. Even though it was extra small, I still paid $4.39 for it, and I'm glad I did. They sold on an offer for $29, and guys, I'm telling you, it really doesn't matter the brand if you come across bib overalls, shortalls, and even bib dresses. Keep your eye out for that. This is another bins find. This is the brand Public Rec. I cannot say enough good things about this brand. They feel and kind of look like Lululemon. You can kind of see kind of that style, but it's really hard to find the tag. There's just this simple little tag on the inside that says Public Rec. and that's all you've got. So I did a quick comp on it just because it felt like quality. These have a really good sell-through rate. First time hearing about this brand, but I'm really glad we picked it up. I priced these for $34.94. They sold very quickly on offers to watchers for $31.45, and this sold within weeks of listing. Next up is another Ralph Lauren item. This is Polo Ralph Lauren, and it is a pair of women's vintage Saturday jeans. It actually says Saturday jean on the inside right here. These are size 8, so not a bad size, but these vintage jeans that have interesting patches on the back tend to do pretty well. I wouldn't recommend picking up every pair of Ralph Lauren jeans, especially in women's, but if you see these little patches and they're in good condition, they can do well. Which brings me to my next point, which is you always want to have your cover photo be an up close photo of whatever the selling point of the item is. So if I would have just used the back of these, you can't really tell unless you're zoomed in. So we used an up close photo of the back patch to sell it, and I'm glad we did that because I think it really did help to sell it. Kind of some weird pricing. I don't remember what this ended up being, but I think we got these on sale. They were $5.60 and we sold them for $28.32. Next up, one of my all-time favorite brands to sell. Also have a hard time leaving this one behind, vintage or modern. This is Eileen Fisher, and their stuff does particularly well in natural fabrics. This one is organic cotton, so that's why we picked this up, and it is just a tank dress, kind of easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I don't know why I said that. Easy breezy, lightweight. I paid $4.99, had it listed for $35.90. It sold on an offer to watchers for $32.31. So I will always pick up this brand in good condition. This is another brand that is kind of along those same lines, where it's super lightweight, effortless, and usually uses natural materials. This is Flax, and we picked this one up at the bins. It is 100% cotton. I like that they always have a cute little saying on the inside. This one says, "I am considerate of others." This is a pretty unique skirt. We listed this one for $29.93, and it did sell for our full asking price. I feel like this video is getting really long, but you guys have told me that you like longer videos, so I'm going to keep chugging along. We are about halfway to 2/3 of the way not full, done. So I'm going to keep going. Make sure if you've made it this far that you give a thumbs up to this video. That way I know to continue making longer videos like these. Okay, moving on. This is a Tommy Bahama men's short sleeve silk button-up shirt. Talk about this a lot. This is not a brand we pick up a ton of, but we do like it in the silk shirts, particularly the men's button-up silk shirts in the larger sizes. This is a size large. It has some unique details to it. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is some floral details mixed in here. And we got this one for $4.69. It's sold for a full asking price of $29.93, and that's about what I can get for these. Is usually between $25 and $35, depending on the size, condition, and whatever kind of embroidery or multicolor is on it. This one's kind of just, pretty plain, but it was a size large, so we priced it in the middle. This is something I think people don't lean into enough, and it is kids shoes. This I got for $1.99. I like picking up kids shoes because the thrift stores do not price them very high. This is a pair of UGG toddler boots. They definitely had a little bit of wear, but you can see they're in really good condition for toddler sizing. As you can see, there's wear on the edges here, but overall pretty decent condition. The soles didn't have that much wear to them, and they were the real shearling lining for boots. Had these listed for $24.93, and they did sell for full asking price. So $2 into 25, that's pretty good in my opinion. And toddler and kid shoes are really easy to list. You can just throw them up on a table, and they usually ship either first class or in a padded flat rate. This is a Hot Topic dress. I have really good luck with Hot Topic items, especially show items like TV show collaboration with Hot Topic. But even their normal stuff like this does pretty good. This just has a moth graphic on it. It's a cute little skater dress. I picked this up for $3.99. It sold for full asking price of $24.93. This is another Tommy Bahama item. This one is a one-piece swimsuit. Now, I wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of people steer away from lingerie and swimwear and stuff like that, but it can be a really good seller if you have the right item during the right time. And as always, you want to check for, if it's pre-owned, you definitely want to check and make sure there's no wear in any of the areas, including any kind of sweat staining. This one was in really good condition, and I took a look at it because it was very multicolored. I thought maybe it could be Lilly Pulitzer or something like that. Turns out that it was Tommy Bahama, and took a chance on it just because of all the colors, and it was a size 10. I picked this up for $4.69. It sold on an offer for $26.94, and we are just now moving into warmer weather. It's nice to see some swimwear moving, and I'll continue looking for it. I bet you did not expect to see Old Navy on this video. We pick up actually, I won't say we pick up a ton of Old Navy, but we do pick up certain pieces when there's enough factors. We do not discriminate against Old Navy, and in fact, at the bins, it can be a pretty good solid seller for us. So I got this one at the bins. We picked it up because it was a substantial piece. It's a jumpsuit, it's animal print, and it is made out of linen. So for all of those reasons, we grabbed this one, and I actually priced it kind of high. So we probably paid a couple bucks for this. We listed it for $24.94, which again is pretty high for pre-owned Old Navy, but it did sell for our full asking price. Diving into some of those Poshmark sales, we do have a lot less Poshmark sales than eBay. As you can see, ton of eBay up here, short amount of Poshmark. Just a reminder, we did not sell that much on Poshmark this week, but we did have some pretty decent sales. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren men's sweater vest. Again, with the Ralph Lauren, certain pieces do really well. This is a modern tag, but it was extra large, and I know that Ralph Lauren men's sweater vests do pretty good. I paid $6 for this, and it sold for $27. Next up is a bins pickup. These are a pair of shoes that we found that everybody else had left behind, but they were in really good condition. I look for kind of like outdoorsy, kind of hippie-ish, natural looking leather sandals or leather anything really at the bins that people might have passed on. The brand's kind of hard to see, but it's TOS, and this brand is pretty good in their sandals. I would personally keep an eye out for it. Here's another look at that spell out of their name. These ones are really nice, leather kind of woven strappy sandals. Probably paid $2 to $3 for these, and they sold for $45. I was really happy with that for being a bins pickup. This is a pair of David Benton Buffalo men's jeans. A lot of people pass on these. I have really good luck with Buffalo by David Benton, and the style name is usually right here on the inside, which makes it pretty easy to look up. These are kind of a modern black stretch denim. We paid up for these, but I knew that they would sell quickly. We paid $6.99 for them. They sold for $29. Next up is a pair of Dark Martens men's Coronado Oxford shoes. Now, I will say in general that these Oxford shoes in Doc Martens is not what they're known for and do not have the best sell-through rate. You really want to look for the boots or the sandals if you want a quick flip, but I still have a hard time passing up Doc Martens because they do retail for so much, and even though they do sit sometimes, they do end up selling. These ones were in pretty good condition as far as soles go, so I went ahead and picked them up. I paid $4.39 for them, and they sold for $50. Really happy with that return on investment. These are a pair of American Eagle jean shorts. Now, we can usually get anywhere from $15 to $30-ish for a pair of American Eagle denim in the women's department, and it really depends on what you have. There's a lot of factor stacking involved that helps to up the value. In this case, we picked these up at the bins, so they were very lightweight. They didn't cost hardly anything to get. They were a size 12, which is a really good size. They were high-waisted, and they were distressed, and they have that very modern cutoff look to them. So for all of those reasons, we listed them pretty high. They sold on an offer for $27. Really good return on investment for pre-owned denim jeans. This was a vintage find. I like looking in the sleepwear section. and these ones we picked up as a set for $4.39. You can see it's got kind of a little nightgown and then a matching robe. Really beautiful, and this ivory color, in my opinion, does really well. We made sure the cover photo was of the whole set, and we put it on a mannequin to help give it some form. Again, we picked this up for $4.39. It's sold for $51, which really great return on investment. And in my opinion, sleepwear like this is really easy to flip because it's so lightweight, really easy to store, really easy to list, just all around good sale. This was also vintage union made. There were some union tags on the inside, which helped indicate that it was vintage. This is a really good men's brand to sell, kind of becoming a bread and butter for us. It's Travis Matthew. We pick up these polos all the time. We list them for about $25 to $30. They usually end up selling for about $25, like this one did. This is just a color block one. It's just a little golf polo. Nothing too special, but $4 into $25. I'm always happy with a quick flip. And lastly is this pair of Robin's jeans. As you can see from the quick available comps up here, these, some people price them really high. Depending on what you have, if they're really special, you can get a few $100s for them. This one in particular was a faux leather moto. I think they were called the show pant, and they were size 42, so they had a lot going for them. But while doing comps, we saw they were going for about $150 to $200. Someone was going back and forth with us. We settled on $115. We just want to see a quick flip. But I'm happy with the return on investment. We originally paid $9.99 for these, and Robin's jeans, depending on what it is something that I am willing to pay up for. I will warn you that these can sometimes be faked, so you want to look into that, make sure all the correct tags are there, and that you know what you're doing when it comes to Robin's jeans. But they can flip for a few $100s. Again, this one was 10 into 115. Alright guys, that's it for today's What Sold video. Hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below if you're interested in being notified every time I make new content. I do have another What Sold video coming out. This one's actually a little bit late, so I actually have two coming out this week. I hope you'll join me on the next one.